quitting them. No matter how hard I thought, I couldn't really point to anything I'd done wrong. I'd made a few mistakes and lacked direction, but wasn't all that just part of growing up? Just as I had always wanted to know why as a student, I wanted to figure out why I felt pathetic despite not having done anything wrong. I turned to books, not because reading was a hobby, but because I wanted answers. Why did I feel so insignificant? Why wasn't I enough? Why was I such a nothing? At the end of the day, I came to the conclusion that even if the world doesn't value me, I have to have self-respect and live confidently as me. This book delves into the reasons why I felt pathetic and my reactions to all the things that made me feel that way. Throughout my career, the things I've written may have helped a reader or two, even if for only a moment. But what I've really wanted to do is create a source of healing and support that can stay with them for longer. I want to tell those of you who, like me, keep blaming yourselves when you're not at fault. It's not your fault. It is all right to live as you. Goal. For an ordinary person to let go of what they are not, to endure the judgment of others, and to still live exactly as they are. Part 1. Checklist for a life that respects who you are. Medicine, law, business, engineering, these are noble pursuits and necessary to sustain life. But poetry, beauty, romance, love, these are what we stay alive for. Dead Poets Society. Do not be polite to those who are not polite to you. Right out of college, I did an internship. The first boss I had at my first job ever treated me like a servant. She bullied me, basically, asking me to move by 4 inches the monitor that was right in front of her, cursing me out for the smallest mistake. It was my first corporate job, and with an offer of full-time employment on the line, I was torn over whether to stay or go. Every day on that job hammered home the fact that Homo internus was the lowest being on the corporate food chain. Several years after I finished the internship, I was lying in bed when I was suddenly consumed with rage by that memory. It was less her behavior that I couldn't stand and more the fact that I just put up with it. It wasn't like she was all-powerful, but I didn't say a word to her in my defense, and that just encouraged her to act worse. This isn't the same thing, but it is said that those tortured for their involvement in South Korea's democracy movement are hurt most, not by the physical pain they suffered, but by their degrading attempts to assuage their torturers. This may not be our fault, but the truly fatal blow to our dignity isn't the mistreatment we endure, but how humiliatingly we respond to it. To those who are not kind to you, who do not respect you, don't bother being polite to them in return. Even in demeaning situations, you can at least hold on to some of your dignity. Even if we can't change the situation, we need to push back a little to protect our dignity from the worst kind of people. What gives bullies strength isn't their position, but the helpless politeness of the bullied. Mind your own business, FFS. Don't go out of your way to be miserable. When I first entered the new world that was Instagram, my feed randomly showed me a woman whose breasts were so large that they practically covered her torso. Her posts oozed luxury. She was pretty, thin, expensively dressed, and always traveling. But what came as a shock wasn't her lavish lifestyle, but her number of followers. Why were so many people obsessed with her? Looking through her photos made me feel sad about the tasty convenience store kimbap I had that morning and the cute spangled bag I scored for only $8,900.